Now to Tanzania, and Samia Suluhu Hassan is being sworn in as the country's president following mass protests by the opposition that have reportedly seen hundreds killed. The ceremony is underway in the capital, Dodoma. Officials say that Hassan won the highly disputed election with more than 97% of the vote. Her two main rivals were barred from running, a move that sparked demonstrations, which in turn led to a deadly crackdown by the military and police. Human rights groups have condemned the violence. Our East Africa correspondent, Sella Oneko, is in Kenya monitoring the situation in neighboring Tanzania. With the inauguration going ahead, despite fierce opposition, I asked her if more protests are expected.
At the moment, we don't know if more protests are expected because the country is still under a blackout. There is no internet in the country in most areas, apart from through Wi-Fi sometimes, and so communication has been very difficult. And also there is heavy security around the country in the towns and cities on the streets. So security forces checking people's IDs, checking cars, and so on. So at the moment, we don't know if under these circumstances there will be more protests.
The country has seen protests since voting day, and human rights groups in Tanzania are accusing security forces of deadly violence. What is the government there saying about that?
The government is not saying very much. They issued a statement. The foreign ministry issued a statement saying that there were smaller pockets of protest around election day, and that they would restore things to normalcy and would not allow anybody to erupt the electoral process. But as you said, rights groups have said that they have evidence of people being killed and people being injured, and we have also yesterday in Kenya there was a press conference where rights groups presented videos of people who were killed and also people who were injured by gunshots, and we're at the moment still working to verify these. Basically also. Several people, such as the UN and so on, has also said that they have credible sources that people were killed. But the government has not said anything on these deaths or injuries.
This story is being closely watched. Has there been any movement from other leaders in the region or the African Union in terms of intervention?
In terms of intervention, no, as far as we know. The African Union had a mission on the ground, an election observer mission, and they did urge for calm, but they also congratulated President Samia Suluhu Hassan on her election win. And we've also heard other leaders, such as Kenya's President Ruto, today congratulating Samia Suluhu Hassan on her win. What we did hear as well is that, for example, there were very few election observers on the ground. But what we heard was, for example, also that the ANC, the ruling party in South Africa, was on the ground but were unable to observe elections, and they have been very silent up to now about what they actually. About making a statement about this. We've also seen statements from the UN and the EU saying that they have heard credible reports of the violence after the elections, and that they urge the government to have restraint against any opponents or protesters.
Sella, thank you very much. That was our East Africa correspondent, Sella Oneko.